Today, we are going to react to horrors from the FBI database. Let's go.
Plainsview, Arkansas, 1995. A woman named Pamela Lamb is getting ready to go to work. Her husband David is staying home that day, and he tells her he's planning to get some stuff done around the house, namely, mowing the lawn.
Pause. I'm already scared shitless. Okay? Let's start there. I'm already not liking this video.
Later that day, as Pamela's returning home, she's greeted with an odd sight. A half-mowed lawn, and a still running mower sitting in the middle of it, without anybody present
GG's.
to operate the machine. She gets out of her car and shuts it off. Maybe her husband went to the backyard and he just forgot to turn off the mower.
Oh god.
But he's not there. She checks inside the house. His keys and wallet are still on the table, but he's nowhere to be found. The more she looks, the more the realization sets in that her husband had simply vanished, as if he was plucked out of reality in the middle of a menial household chore. She'd then call the police and a missing persons report would be filed, but it wouldn't matter, because David Lamb would never be seen again. People go missing all the time in the US.
Here's my theory. Alright. David, or whatever his name is, was mowing the lawn, correct? He simply, and here's my theory, went to McDonald's. Or, no. Here's a better theory. He bailed. Okay? He left with the milk. He thought, okay, my wife wants me to mow the lawn. Fuck you. Alright? And he left. GG's.
Say, a staggering 1,600 new missing persons cases are reported every single day. But often, there's some sort of clue or indication as to what may have happened in a given case. Maybe it's a teenager who ran away from their parents, or a hitchhiker who got into the wrong car. But this case is different. Not only are there basically no clues left behind to help explain how and why David Lamb disappeared, but the details that are there only make this case harder to explain. A running lawnmower on a half-mowed lawn suggests that he left in a hurry, maybe even in a panic. But his keys and wallet being left behind would indicate that he wasn't planning to go far. Plainsview is a tiny town in the middle of rural Arkansas. If David had gone anywhere, it'd almost certainly be in a vehicle of some kind. Since there were no reported cars missing in this case, David likely got into someone else's vehicle. Considering that the lawnmower was running and how quick and easy it is to shut a lawnmower off, you could theorize that he was forcibly taken. But for what reason? One clue here that could support this theory is a list of injuries David reportedly had. One of them was a gunshot wound he had sustained earlier that year. Getting shot generally means making somebody upset enough to shoot you. Is it possible whoever shot David was responsible for his disappearance? It would be a clean explanation, but there are some details here that don't quite line up. When Pamela came home, she said the lawnmower was still running. This single detail is what makes this case so interesting. It's almost as if this guy was raptured or something. But how was it possible that the lawnmower was running without anybody there to push it? In 1982, after a rising rate of injuries, the American government would mandate that all new lawnmowers sold in the USA would have to have something called a dead man switch installed onto it. If you've ever mowed a lawn before, you definitely know what this is. For the machine to actually run, you have to be holding down a spring-loaded handle. If you let it go for even a second,
Nah, this is weird. I don't like this video. I'm actually getting chills. Cause guess what? I have this on my lawnmower. Dun dun dun. Okay. Yo, this video is actually scary. Okay, so I have this on my lawnmower, and you're telling me the reason that they invented this in the first place is because of this guy. Holy shit. Yo, this video is actually mad scary. I don't like this. Honestly, I don't like this. Whole like TMZ, taking pictures. Baby, what you seeing me? Oh, you think I'm that nigga?
Second, the lawnmower shuts off. How is it possible that David's mower was running without him being there to hold it? Maybe it just so happened to be a very old mower that didn't have this dead man switch installed, but how likely is it for a 30-year-old man to be using a 14-year-old lawnmower? It's hard to speculate with how limited the details are here, but you could possibly surmise some potential conflict between David and his spouse. One documented detail is that David had a tattoo that read Connie, a different name than his wife Pamela. Again, there's nothing concrete to suggest that there was any real long-term conflict between this couple. This tattoo could have just been for an ex-girlfriend that he knew long before he met his wife. But I will say that it's a little strange Pamela has been so under the radar about her own husband's disappearance. I couldn't find a single instance of this case even being in the newspaper. If my spouse vanished one day, I'd be shouting from the rooftops to keep the case in the public eye. But this mystery hasn't received any of that sort of advocacy. In my mind, there are three possible explanations here. The first is that David had a medical episode of some kind and just wandered off in a daze. I don't think this is very likely, as Plainsview is a very small town, and it wouldn't be very hard to find him in such a tiny place. The second is that somebody had a grudge against David, and they forcibly took him while he was outside his house and did God knows what to him. This is possible, but it would be hinging on the fact that David owned an antique lawnmower that could keep running without an operator present. Which brings us to the third theory, one that says Pamela had something to do with her husband's disappearance, and she merely lied about the lawnmower running. This feels like the most plausible explanation to me. In most cases where a spouse is found to be murdered after going missing, their partner is usually the perpetrator. There could be a multitude of methods she could have taken to pull off this crime, whereas somebody kidnapping David.
Why is this video so scary? I don't know what it is about it, but I'm very disturbed. Is it because the figures are shadows or what? I don't know, but I'm actually pissing myself right now. And it's not funny. It's not funny at all. No cap, buddy.
David while he was mowing his lawn is a theory that relies on much narrower possibilities. Ultimately though, we can't say for sure what happened to David.
Oh god. No, I'm playing. I'm just playing.
David Lamb. The information here is sparse and we can only speculate. While his is notable for his bizarre,
I think it's his voice. His voice is really scary for some reason. Also, I think his glasses are scary too. And maybe the hole in his chin is scaring me too. I don't know.
Details, David's case is not unique. Out of the 600,000 people that go missing every year in the United States, a sizable portion of these cases end up going cold because there's simply no plausible theory that can explain why these people just vanished into thin air. In many of these cases, including David's, it almost feels like these people just stopped existing in this plane of reality. Like they despawned. One moment there, the next not. Last year, I did a video about
Hell no. Hell no.
The FBI's Violent Crime Apprehension Program. You can consider this a sort of sequel. Many of the cases we're going to talk about today are actually attached to VICAP, but to the missing persons section, not the unidentified remains section. Every case we're going to cover today is cold, often having gone years without any sort of update or potential resolution. And just before we get to the next story, I want to let you guys know that I've uploaded my whole catalog to Spotify because they actually support video now. If you happen to have a premium, check it out. Verona, Missouri, 1972.
Oh god. Yo. I'm usually really good with horror. This shit is really scary for me for some reason. I don't know why. It's because I'm alone and it's nighttime and I don't know. Maybe something is gonna get me. I'm actually, I have chills. I swear to God. I don't know what it is.
It's 8 in the morning on a musky June day. Father and husband Lynn Seal is getting ready to head to his job on the Calico Dairy Farm. Him and his family recently moved into a mobile home on the farm's property, meaning he doesn't have to travel very far. His wife Christine and his son David are both sleeping, so he sneaks out quietly as to not wake them. An hour and a half later, a mailman drops off some letters for the family. Through the door, he can see 2-year-old David standing alone in the trailer. 15 minutes after that, Lynn would return to say good morning to his wife and son during a break at work.
I already don't like this.
But he'd only find David, with no sign of Christine anywhere. It wouldn't take him long to search the tiny mobile home, but there was no sign of his wife. Moreover, nothing appeared to be missing. Her purse, car keys, wallet, and even all her shoes were still right where they were when Lynn had left for work just a little while earlier. The only thing that wasn't there was a nightgown Christine had been wearing when she went to bed the previous night. Before getting the police involved, Lynn would decide to look around the farm's property. With the couple's cars still in the driveway, Christine couldn't have gone very far, but he couldn't find her anywhere. He'd then call his parents. The day before, they had all gone together to celebrate Father's Day. Maybe they had some idea where she might be, but they hadn't heard anything.
Jeej.
Out of ideas, Lynn calls the police. They come to the family's property with bloodhounds who are able to track down Christine's scent to the driveway behind the family's car, right where another vehicle might park if one had pulled up to their home. That's where the scent stopped. Police theorize that Christine likely got into a car here. Considering she was still in her nightgown and hadn't even been wearing shoes or socks, it wouldn't be hard to assume that she entered that vehicle unwillingly. Despite clear evidence suggesting that foul play could be involved here, the police inexplicably didn't see it that way. Their theory was that Christine had simply ran off in a nightgown and bare feet in the middle of rural Missouri. They said they wouldn't do any more policing until 48 hours had passed. If she still hadn't returned at that point, then they would continue the investigation. Lynn and his family would be left to organize things on their own. They'd get a search party together consisting of 500 local residents who would scour every corner of the small town of Verona, but nothing would be found. When police started looking into the case again, they did consider the angle of foul play, but they couldn't piece together a potential motive. Christine was a cosmetologist who'd been working in a nearby town. She was well liked and didn't have any enemies. They did, however, try to connect the case to a similar one in the nearby town of Nixa. In late 1969, cosmetologist Carol Blades went out to a laundromat to get her family's laundry done, but she never came home. Police went to the laundromat and found her clothes laying damp in the washing machine, and no sign of Carol. An extensive search and investigation would turn up nothing, and the case would go cold. However, almost exactly a year later in 1970, Carol's body would be found in a farmer's field. She had been murdered, but the police couldn't connect any suspect to the crime, meaning whoever carried out the act was still walking free around this area of Missouri at the time of Christine's disappearance. While strikingly similar, police couldn't substantiate any connection between Carol's murder and Christine's disappearance, but they wouldn't have to wait very long to get another lead to investigate. A man had been driving outside Verona, but got a flat tire in front of Lee Church, an abandoned Baptist chapel. While fixing his car, he heard an enormous bang come from inside the church. He walked up to investigate, and upon opening the door, he allegedly saw a naked woman running out the back exit of the chapel and into the woods. The man then left and called the police, who had come to look around the church. They found several items that suggested somebody had been living inside the abandoned chapel for quite a while, but Christine was still nowhere to be found, and nothing concrete came from this tip. After this, the case would once again go cold. No new leads would be found. Lynn would remarry a couple years after his first wife's disappearance, which some might consider to be fishy, but I do think it's important to keep in mind that this was the 70s in the rural American South. People tended to marry again quickly after losing a partner, and the police have already ruled Lynn out as a suspect. But there's definitely a non-zero chance of a deathbed confession happening that could clear this entire case up. The Seal family is still to this day offering a $25,000 reward for any information that could lead to this mystery being solved. As of 2024, the case remains open with the Lawrence County Sheriff's Department. If you happen to know something, please let them know. These first two cases follow the same pattern. One minute somebody is there, the next they're not. No clues are left behind, and everybody can only speculate why this person just vanished into thin air. This next case is like that. It even once again starts with
Listen, I don't know what it is, but I think I just shit myself.
somebody leaving their house in the morning. But this one has a twist. A bizarre and unexpected clue would eventually emerge in this story, one that would give credence to the worst possible scenario. Hudson, Florida, 1998.
Jeez. Oh my god. Oh, please. Yo, I can't, bro. Why does he say it so scary? Is it just me or no?
Scenario. Hudson, Florida, 1998.
Oh god. No, 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 no.
It's a common muggy April morning on Good Friday, and Deborah Cronin is getting ready to go to a doctor's appointment. Before she leaves, she says goodbye to her sister Diane, who's been staying with her for the last couple months, as she's unfortunately been going through a pretty tough time with her mental health. Around a decade earlier, she was diagnosed as a manic depressive, now known as bipolar disorder, which would be followed by a nasty divorce. If that wasn't bad enough, Child Protective Services would then start a case against Diane, alleging that she had been mistreating her 3 children. The state accused her of Munchausen by proxy, stating that she had been seeking excessive and unnecessary medical treatment for her children. She would be acquitted of the charges, but just the case alone was enough for her ex-husband Frederick to win full custody of their children when the divorce was finalized in 1991. All of these unfortunate events lining up in a row dealt a massive blow to Diane, as it would to anyone. She began to spiral, turning to substances to deal with the stress of it all. That in turn would cause her mental health to worsen even further, which would lead to her being involuntarily committed to several mental health facilities 32 times over the following 7 years. Her
32. Yeah, she's a nut job. I'm sorry. No disrespect, but that's crazy. 32 times.
family was of the opinion that she should be staying in these facilities longer term so she could receive deeper professional care. But it was Florida in the 90s and that likely wasn't in the cards. While Diane did have her own place, she opted instead to stay with her sister, who would be able to help take care of her during her rougher episodes. Deborah was more than willing to help, but she was disappointed to learn that Diane hadn't been taking her medication, which was causing her mental health to deteriorate even further. That fateful April morning, Deborah told her sister she was just leaving for a bit and she'd be back soon. But when she returned just a couple hours later, Diane was gone. This was alarming. Diane didn't drive, and she had been previously known to hitchhike to get around. Deborah would anxiously wait at home for her sister to return, but when tomorrow arrived without any sign of her, she finally opted to call the police. An investigation would immediately begin. The police would find a witness who reportedly saw Diane walking along a highway on the outskirts of Hudson the afternoon she vanished. They'd also managed to track down a bartender who reported that he had been serving Diane alcohol that day, but had to cut her off as she began walking around in circles. This was the last time she'd ever be seen, but not the last time she'd ever be heard. 3 days later, Diane's mother would return home to find a new voicemail waiting for her on her answering machine. Nothing could prepare her for what she'd hear on the other end.
Oh no, I'm not ready for this. I was joking before, but if I hear this, I might actually shit myself. I'm the yo-yo. I'm not gonna listen to this, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pussy, I don't care. I'm not listening to this. Ah, fuck it, we'll do it.
After hitting play on the tape, a sound of scuffling can be heard, followed by a woman's voice, one that belongs to her daughter.
Oh god. Yeah, I lied, I'm not ready. Yeah, we can't. No, I don't think we can listen to this. How's it? Yo, I was actually wondering, because we reacted to another video like this here on this channel. And it's like, how are these videos allowed on YouTube? They're mad disturbing. I'm gonna just mute and just listen to it, see if it's good. Ho light TMZ. Test. Test. It's not too bad. It's like 4 seconds. Test. It's like 4 seconds. That's not bad. And I think it's allowed. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's allowed on YouTube, but whatever.
He heard, followed once again by Diane's voice. After this, the call ends. Diane's mother happened to have caller ID, and the name for this phone number was Starlight.
Oh, shit.
She called the number back, but nobody would pick up. She'd report this incident to the police, who would never publicly reveal whether or not this voicemail actually led anywhere. Regardless, it added a new and terrifying lens to this case. Diane didn't simply go missing. Something must have happened to her. Later that same day, another awful clue would be found that would only support the idea that foul play was involved here. A woman had been walking down US 19, the same highway Diane had been sighted on 3 days prior. She noticed what she described as a fake finger sitting in the bushes. She'd tell her boyfriend about this, who'd return to
Jeej. A fake finger. Yeah, okay. Yo, imagine you're walking and you see somebody's finger in the grass. Well, yo, honestly, what are you doing? Like, fuck, bro. I can't with this, honestly. Yo, imagine you're walking, just taking a stroll down your neighborhood. You see someone's dismembered finger lying on the sidewalk. What are you doing? At that moment, bro, honestly, what I would do, turn around, go home. This is why I don't go outside, and this is why I don't take walks.
the spot and managed to track down the prop. Except it wasn't a prop. It was a real severed human finger. One that the police would verify once belonged to Diane.
Oh, God. Jeez.
In just one day, this missing persons investigation would turn into a kidnapping or a potential homicide case. The police would act with a newfound sense of urgency, deploying a helicopter to scan the area for any signs of Diane, but none would be found. Nothing new would be uncovered until 4 days later, when a worker at a nearby convenience store noticed something odd sitting in the shop's outdoor freezer. It was a bag containing a neatly folded set of clothes. The manager of the store knew Diane, as she was a frequent customer, so he
Oh no, I don't like the way this is going. Oh no.
He called Deborah to inform her of the discovery, who would make her way down to the shop and would end up verifying that these clothes did in fact belong to Diane.
Oh God, no. And the bag? What about the bag?
And on top of that, it was a set of clothing that she had personally bought for her. This would be the last advancement made in this case, and it would disappear from the public eye without any sort of resolution. At least for a little while. 2 years later, in the year
Wait,
2000...
were the clothes in the bag? Or were the clothes next to the bag? Because I was thinking there was a bunch of dismembered body parts in the bag with a neat set of clothes right next to it.
Terry, the girlfriend of Diane and Deborah's brother, walked into a Circle K convenience store to buy a soda and some cigarettes. She was familiar with the shop, as it was where Deborah had currently been employed.
Uh-oh.
As she was waiting for the clerk to help her, she noticed something odd behind the lottery counter. It was a clear Ziploc bag with a name written on it. Diane. Inside the bag was an assortment of toiletries and makeup. While her family couldn't verify whether the items actually belonged to Diane or not, the police were able to verify that the toothpaste in the bag did come from a mental health facility that Diane had been released from only 2 weeks before she had vanished. The police would also review the store's CCTV footage to see if they could find evidence of who may have planted the bag there, but they couldn't find anything on the tapes. This was the last major development in the case of Diane Ogden. Every clue here is disconnected from one another, and it's no wonder why the police haven't been able to piece together a solid theory to explain her disappearance. While authorities have never publicly released the identity of the Starlight who left the disturbing voicemail, internet sleuths have theorized that it could have originated from the Starlight Lounge, a strip club which used to exist 20 miles south of where Diane had disappeared, although it's worth mentioning that this is pure speculation. There's been 2 theories floating around as to what may have happened to Diane. The first was that she was kidnapped and held against her will. She may have managed to get access to a phone long enough to call her mother, but ended up getting caught in the middle of the call, which led to that disturbing voicemail. But if that was the case, then why would her finger be found on the side of the road? If someone had been holding her hostage, why would they cut off her finger only to then throw it in a ditch? That detail can be explained by the second theory, which is that Diane fell victim to a drug-related dispute. She had been known to use several substances, and one method dealers in this part of Florida used to punish customers who didn't pay back their debts was finger chopping.
Oh. No, 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 no. I don't like this. No cap, I don't like this. That seems the most plausible though. Maybe she feel me couldn't pay the dude the perk feel me. I don't know what I can and can't say on Twitch. It's so frustrating. But whatever. Maybe she couldn't pay the plug, feel me, Walter White, the cash for the you feel me? But yeah. And then she got her finger chopped off because she couldn't pay, you know? It's probably most, you know, it's probably the most plausible answer.
It's possible what started off as a punishment for defaulting on
I'm
a debt
confused.
may have
Who is this? And who is the other picture? There's two different people.
escalated into a homicide. In any event, we unfortunately have no idea what happened to Diane Ogget. Her family is still offering a $3,000 reward for any information that may lead
3K? Nigga, call me Sherlock Holmes. I'll go to Missouri right now, solve the mystery, 3K, easy vacation. Easy 3K up.
to her case being resolved. So it goes without saying, if you happen to know something, then please get in contact with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office. When looking at these more mysterious missing persons cases, one thing you'll quickly notice is a lack of information. When somebody just vanishes inexplicably without leaving behind any clues, their case files often end up being pretty short. So for the last bit of this video, I want to talk about some shorter cases that don't really warrant their own section, but are still worth talking about. Las Vegas, Nevada, 1999. 47-year-old Robert Turner is taking a trip to Death Valley to meet up with some friends.
Death Valley for a fucking meetup? Why are they meeting up in Death Valley of all places? What the hell? Hey, bro, pull up. Death Valley. What do you mean Death Valley? Yo, what do you mean Death Valley? Come to Death Valley for a quick get together. What? Do people unironically just go to Death Valley just to visit? I've never heard of that. 106 degrees in Death Valley right now. I've never heard of that before.
Before heading out though, he visits his brother to drop off some tools, telling him he'll be back later on to pick them up for a job he had landed in San Francisco. He would never return to pick up those tools, and he would never be seen again.
Interesting.
One notable detail here is that Robert
No, this is real horror right here. Holy shit. This looks like AI low-key.
didn't own a car, meaning he was either hitching a ride.
This looks like a perfect PS5 like graphics GTA character.
With a friend, or was simply hitchhiking. It was never clarified who Robert was meeting in Death Valley, and to further complicate things, his brother didn't actually report him missing until he had already been gone for 9 months, making it pretty hard for the police to figure out what may have happened. No leads or further information have ever come about. Colfax, California, 1993.
How close is that to me? I've literally never heard of Colfax, and I live in California. $51. What even is Colfax? Is it a small town? Oh god, it is. No wonder I haven't heard of it. Jeez. There, ooh, Lake Tahoe? Nah, Lake Tahoe's a movie, no cap. Loki loved Lake Tahoe. Let's see. What are the best places in California? Let's make a little detour. Let's starting off at the very top of California. We have Happy Camp. Interesting. I have no clue what this is. Is it a place for death, maybe? Probably. Happy Camp? I don't know. Sounds like some horror shit. Okay. Then we have Idlewood, Lake Earl. Where's Santa Cruz? Isn't that up here? I've been to Santa Cruz. I don't know about everything else though. Feel like I do too much. Feel like I do too much. Over here is Mad Mountains. Like at this place, this section, Redwood. Oh, this is where I think um Santa Cruz is up here, I think. Yeah, probably right here. Sonoma. It's somewhere up here. Wait, right? Isn't Santa Cruz right, like right next to the ocean or the beach or whatever? The fucky? This is Oregon. I don't want to go to fucking Oregon. Oh, here it is. Santa Cruz, Monterey. Oh my god, they're so close. Wait, what the hell? Why are they so close? Half Moon Bay is where we go. I didn't realize all of these were so close together. Whatever. Monterey's good. Santa Cruz is good. Half Moon Bay is good. Actually, you know what? Santa Cruz is low key mid, but Newport Beach. I mean, not Newport. Half Moon Bay is good, and the little, the pier at at the Santa Cruz Pier, whatever it is, with the amusement parks. That's cool. And then Monterey's a movie, no cap. You got the piers in Monterey. You got the dolphins, the whales, and shit, and the marina. Low key, not bad, eh? And then you got what else is over here? Complete bullshit, honestly. Big Sur. I think that's for surfing. I've never been though. What's over here? There's not shit over here. I think that's it. I've only been to God, California's huge. I've only been to okay, so I live in Sacramento, yeah. W Leak. I live in Sacramento. The most I've been is probably over here in like San Francisco, Santa Cruz, Monterey, Lake Tahoe. Um my bad. Over here. Not over here. I've never been to anywhere over here. I've been to Eureka though, I think. I've been to Anaheim. I went to Disneyland once. I don't think I've ever been to anywhere in like LA besides Anaheim. I want to go to like where's what's that one place in LA? Fuck. Oh, Calabasas. Where's that? In Calabasas. Has to be over here. Calabasas? Hello? Okay, we got the fucking Beverly Hills over here. The Getty. The fuck? What's the Getty? Oh, an art museum. Ooh, Universal Studios. Nah, that's tough. The Wizarding World. Ooh, Warner Bros. LA Zoo. Okay. Nah, I definitely gotta go to LA. Hollywood. Wait, where's the Hollywood sign? Chat, who needs to go to LA when you can literally have Google Maps, no? Fries? Okay. Look to my right, you can see the Hollywood sign. Ooh, the observatory. Okay, fire. Yo, where's Calabasas? Let me just Google it. Calabasas. Oh, it's right here. Wait, can we find stable Ronaldo's house in Core? Nah. Can we find their house? What the fuck? Nah, what the fuck? This is weird. Dude, you can just have. Nah, this is so weird. You can just Google where they live? I might just have to pull up, no? Is this federal or no? Yeah, fuck, I already lost it. Nice. Uh, wow. I'm just a fucking. I literally already lost it. Okay. Okay, it's right here. Yeah? You got the solar panels, you got the little loopy driveway into the underground garage. You got um what else? You got fucking Laze's house. Yo, why do I know all of this? Nah, I watch too much YouTube, no cap. Okay, so we go Calabasas, right? And then we go zoom in right here. Uh yeah, right? I mean, Yo, I'm an L tracker. Park South. Oh, GG's. Yo, where are these niggas at? Like, what? Hello? Park S Street. Nah, this is so federal. It's crazy that you could just know this. Yo, I love you, Core, but I don't know how this is even possible. Well, to be fair, you could Google Drake's house too, I think. Oh, wow, nice. Their house is literally, I think, right here. Either right here. Oh, it's literally right here. Okay, nice. Directions? Oh my god. Nah, I'm about to go to the core crib. Nah, this shit weird. I ain't gonna lie, I'm federal. Let's see. Hey guys, I'm on my way, okay? Don't worry. Lacey, Ron, I'm on my way, don't worry. Haha, you don't gotta. Oh, fuck. You don't gotta worry about me. Nice. So it would take me about. How long if I walk? 6 days if I walk. 2 days if I bike. Flights, we don't do jets, okay? We're broke. You think we are? 5 hours. A 5 hour drive if I wanted to go see Ron and them. Nah, I might just have to make the trip, no cap. Pull up, say hi, dip. Maybe get a cool little segment in. I don't
Hiking.
know.
It was never clarified who Robert was meeting in Death
Oh yeah, this shit, bro. I'm sidetracked.
Valley, and to further complicate things, his brother didn't actually report him missing until he had already been gone for 9 months, making it pretty hard for the police to figure out what may have happened. No leads or further information have ever come about. Colfax, California, 1993. A landlord is stopping in to check on his elderly tenant, 81-year-old Elmer Booth. He hasn't paid his rent for the last couple months, and he's not picking up the phone either. He knocks on the door, but nobody comes to open it. He decides to just go in anyways, and when he does, there's no sign of Elmer anywhere. He calls the police and a missing persons case is filed, but the police were unable to figure out any idea as to where Elmer may have gone, which led to his case very quickly going cold. Not much was known about Elmer, who had no living family at the time. He had been known to go on daily walks around the small mining town of Colfax. It's possible that he might have vanished on one of these outings. His case remains unresolved to this day. Cookeville, Tennessee, 2004. 22-year-old basketball star John Thrasher drops out of college, much to his parents' dismay. He's recently fallen in with a bad crowd, picking up a drug habit along the way. The accounts of what happened vary. Some agencies say that John was picked up by an unknown person from his parents' house on August 15th. Some say that he was last seen at the Putnam County Fair on August 14th. Others say he left home carrying a backpack on the 13th. In any event, John would completely vanish in the middle of August, and his parents would formally report him missing on the 16th. Investigators wouldn't find any concrete evidence to explain where he may have gone, and as the years rolled by, the search would slowly shift from looking for a live person to looking for a body, with the police searching nearby sinkholes and lakes. Nothing would be found though, and the case would go cold for the next 6 years. However, in 2010, a jailhouse tip would come through that would spark new life in the investigation. A female inmate said that she knew what happened to John, stating that he had gotten into a fight at a party and was killed in the confrontation, with the perpetrators dumping his body into a nearby sinkhole. This tip would not only fail to pan out, but it would lead to a second tragedy occurring. The police would head to the sinkhole to start preparations for rescue crews to descend into it. However, while standing around the massive hole, the ground would give way, causing Deputy Chad Pritchard to slip and fall into the 160-foot crater. He would instantly die on impact. Rescue crews would make their way to the bottom to recover Chad's body and to search for any evidence of John. There was none, and the police would ultimately discredit the tip they had received. This was the last development in the case of John Thrasher, which remains open and unresolved to this day. Endicott, New York, 2016. This one might have the least information out of any case I've talked about today. 73-year-old Peter Romano, who had previously lived in Pennsylvania, ended up vanishing one day in May 2016. The FBI would release a VICAP alert with his photo, but other than that, there's basically no information about this guy.
This video is so scary, it's giving me arthritis. Like my hand's cramping right now, no cap.